does a really good job. You know, the look to Mario fits Chris Pratt though. Yeah. Again, Sonic movie all over again. Least appealing part is the main character. But that is an interesting thing though, that you can have a good movie without a good main character. It'd be better if there was a good main character, but like it's proven to be possible that a main character that is good is not necessary. Why is it so thin? Though I'm not even sure when I will actually see the movie, because I'm not the type to go to theaters or, well, I go to theaters rarely. I enjoy it, but just not really my thing to go to the theater. Jack Black has jokingly did a Bowser voice before in other movies. Would be nice to see some lesser known talent doing some bigger roles. I take it these folks are pretty well known. Yeah, they're pretty like famous, well known people, so they got cast rather than, traditional actual voice actors. Heyo, Esler. Welcome. Good to see you. I don't watch movies anymore. That's fair. I really need to like know and be interested in a movie for me to want to watch it. Ooh. I don't gotta switch screens to actually see it. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Thank you, Esler, for the follow. Man, we're getting very close and I'm getting excited. We might actually be able to make affiliate today. That would be exciting. Though it really does depend on if more people seem interested. This has been a definite boost to my views. I found a doppelgang. Had another nano in Splatoon. I wonder if Hydra will hit their goal today. Hopefully. Gotta make the number go up. We're very close, very close. I have hopes. I'm still trying to think of a good movie to watch at home with my dad. Been ages since was able to do that. Used to be so much fun. I'm not a big movie buff. Most of the movies I watch are animated because I just love animation. I mean, at least Jack Black has been in a lot of movies and animated movies and shows. Yeah, he has voice acting background, unlike Chris Pratt, who's been mostly like physical actor. Yeah, the movie is coming out on April 5th because I want a Nintendo Direct yesterday. Oh, because I watched, probably. My problem getting affiliate has always been the 3 viewers. It's so hard to like get those viewers if you're not doing other things, which is why I intend to make hopefully this into a video. Because getting those last few viewers, that's the real tricky part. Because for some reason it's like, oh, you start off, you get people coming in, and then it just stagnates. Which, that's the part that really sucks. Oh, that was another one. Oh, thank you so much, Nano. Chris Pratt does a lot of physical comedy, which doesn't mesh well with animated animation zaniness. So the thing with that is he's more of a physical actor. So he acts with his face, his body, and stuff like that, but not really focusing on his voice. Wait, isn't Chris Pratt the Harry Potter actor? I don't watch Harry Potter, but I feel like that is definitely wrong. Hydra has no need to worry. There's always at least 3 people watching for sake of being nice. Others still exist if you want help. That is very appreciated, Epic. And I do still consider your offer. I'm not dropping it. But yeah, I typically have the average viewer. Not the only thing I am lacking for affiliate is just the follower count is to 50. Once I get that, I will reach affiliate. Because to get the minimum required days, I just need to stream twice a week, which that's not that hard to do. And I have the average viewer count already. Luckily, thanks to you lovely folks. I try to show up to Esler streams whenever I actually see them. When you do an animation, you need to just go with the animation. Dude, yeah. Like, it's better to get voice actors and not physical actors when you're trying to, like, make good animated... Like, if you want a solid animated movie, go with voice actors, not traditional actors. Not that traditional actors are bad, or they can't do voice acting, it's just voice acting is a different skill set. So getting actual people who focus on it is better. Hugs. Followers and viewers always seem to be difficult for both affiliates and partner. Yeah. It's like a weird goal thing where it's like, once you reach affiliate, then you're decent, and then once you reach partner, then you're set. But getting to those milestones is very difficult. Voice acting and physical acting are 2 very different things. Yes. Jack Black can sell Bowser because he has experience with animation. Or with voice acting, I mean. Yeah. He has played Po from Kung Fu Panda. So he has like that very energetic vibe to him, which I really like. He's also been in other things, but I'm not like a huge Jack Black fan to know, everything he's been in. I would be delighted if people would tell me more of what he is in. Because he's a pretty cool dude. He seems very nice and, good vibes. The name might be well known, but the skills are important too. Hey, Meryl. Jack Black is one of my favorite voice actors since Kung Fu Panda. My favorite voice actor is Jonah Scott. He is my favorite voice actor. Mainly because of Legoshi. Honestly, Jack Black is energetic and can have an incredible vocal range. Yeah. You should listen to some Tenacious D as well. Tenacious D? Who's that? Jack Black starred in a movie called School of Rock, if I recall, basically as a teacher helping his class with a talent competition. I vaguely remember that. I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never watched it, but it did seem pretty interesting. It was like a musical, if I recall. I know Jack Black from Nacho Libre. Oh yeah, that was. Oh, I never watched that one too, but I always saw like the movie trailers for it. It's the band that Jack Black is in. Oh, cool. Jonah Scott, pretty good as good, yeah. Still preferred Ben Discus by a mile though. His range that good to me. Okay, I understand the Ben Discus one. I also like Ben Discus. I just like Jonah Scott's voice better. I don't know why. Both of them are amazing voice actors. I just like Jonah Scott better. No bonks. Ben Diskin. Yeah, Ben Diskin is another great one. I got automated modded for some reason. Hold on, let me check. I have to switch screens to see it. Oh, Black is always there. That's weird. I don't know why I did that. Maybe because it's, I don't know. We're talking about Jack Black and then they block that one message for some reason. Also, hey, Wolfmage. Wolf loves the bonks. I don't like bonks. Bonks are not nice. Be nice. Be nice to Buford. No bonk. Most of my friends say Jack Black is always the same in movies, but Kung Fu Panda, School of Rock, and the Mario movie are all different, and that's only some of the movies he's in. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry, I got it. I just blocked that for some reason. Pet the bean. Don't bonk. Yes. Pups need love. Yes. You should always show pups love. They're adorable creatures. So who all is in our piece? Okay. Zooming out once more. So we have Dezu, Zero, Zim, me, Tubby, Esler, Charm. I remember a stream Jonah and Ben did along with Griffin, Patu, Louie from Beastars, and Lauren Landa, Juno, Beastars, and Ben pulled off an exact impersonation of Laura's version of Juno's voice. Wow. Yeah, that checks out. Indeed, they are. And you're the cutest of them all. Thank you. I mean, I made a joke that Hisuian, Growlithe, and Arcanine look like they're wearing helmets. I can see it. Also, I love Bendiskin as he voiced Haida. I never watched Agretzko, but I've heard I couldn't get into Agretzko. I don't know. I watched a few episodes and then just sort of stopped because it didn't interest me. But I've heard good things about it, and I know Bendiskin's in it. Ben has literally done voice roles for female characters before. He voiced Cutemon in Digimon Fusion. Man, people are really fanboying over Ben Diskin. I mean, understandable. The dude's got range and a good voice. So, like, I get it. Did he? Oh, sounds like my experience with a lot of anime. Cool initially, then just sort of drift away. I really enjoy it. It just had its last season recently. Yep, he voiced a small little squeaky bunny. He has a range, good voice, and a good sense of humor on Twitter. He plays a dangerous game using Twitter, but he seems to be winning. I personally don't want anything to do with Twitter. I don't know, it just feels like a place for too much negativity. Not my thing. But at the same time, I'm not going to be a preacher and tell everybody, you shouldn't use Twitter. Because, like, as much as Twitter does suck, it's not all bad. There's still good things that come from Twitter. It's just a show about a woman and having adult struggles like work and relationships. Lovely. And then also Shiro Origami and Brand New Animal is just... Wait, he plays Shiro? I didn't even know that. That's impressive. Ben Diskin has a good humbling attitude and nerding out over stuff in which he shows on Twitter. I hate it and still think that Twitter is a horrible place. Valid. Yes, Ben is the voice actor of Shiro and BNA. That is very impressive. I bet if I went back and listened to it, I could hear it. But, like, it's been a while since I watched BNA. I watched it, like, when it first came out, and then I haven't touched it. This looks wonky. You just have to look hard for the good in Twitter. Real hard, past the bad stuff there. I use it is what I meant. Ah, okay. Hell, he voices two completely different characters in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. He's so good, we can have him work double. Yeah, I would love to try voice acting. Well, technically I will when I do my campaign, but like voice acting seems so fun to me and really enjoyable. And I look forward to it. Good thing Beerus ain't here to see you erasing feet. Yes, it is really fun. Yes, it really is fun. Voice acting is just like, I get to pretend to be someone else and make up a goofy voice to make people have a good time. It's just wonderful. Especially if you let yourself just go wild with your voices. Yeah, like if you don't care at all, you can get some amazingly fun voices. It's the matter of like, oh, I'm too nervous and afraid to do voices because like people judging me and such. And that's when you get the limitations on voices. Of like, oh, it's just your voice, but slightly lower or something, you know? I just want to get better at like controlling my voice, period. Not only for voice acting, just for like general use. They did it to make them better. Like your last stream, for reference. Yeah. Yep, voice acting is fun. I just get self-conscious sometimes. It took me 60 "You're fine, honey" from Ryu to make me do it more. I've been more I've been judged on my voice before and mocked and teased. That is unfortunate. I don't understand why people make fun of someone for something they have no control over. Like, it's stupid. Oh, thank you. I've shown Ryu my Spamton voice. Most of the judging of my voice is self-done. That is true for me as well. But the thing is, you're not even the best judge of your voice because you don't hear it properly. You hear it like altered. So you're like, oh, this doesn't sound good, but in reality, you don't know what it actually sounds like. Thank you, Meryl. A lot of folks do get on my case for being quiet. I don't get why people are like, oh, you're not speaking like I want, so it's a problem. If you want to be quiet, go for it. I mean, if it's a matter of, oh, I just can't hear what you're saying, then I can understand, like, hey, can you speak up a bit? But if it's just generally, oh, you speak too quiet, you need to speak loud, and it's, not really. Not really. Not everyone's thing to talk. But because people can't fix it, that means you can make fun of them longer. That's stupid. People are stupid. Yeah. I am apparently... and apparently do good old-timey car salesman voice. Most people can with the right tone. But I think I got a pretty darn good voice when I can shake off the anxiety. I think so. From the few instances I've heard your voice, I would agree. If I'm chill and relaxed, I can do a lot with my voice. Heck, I can sound feminine. That is a very impressive skill if you can sound feminine. Thanks. Glad I managed to be heard a few times. You've been heard a decent amount. Despite what people say, even if you're quiet, you can still be heard and quiet. For me, it's people saying I sound angry or sad by my mom or being made fun of for not being able to pronounce things properly because of my speech issues. I don't like assuming people's feelings most of the time, especially when they have like resting bitch face or just naturally have an angry tone. It can be hard to judge sometimes and often lead to just more frustration. I can happily do voice acting for a bunch of anonymous people online, but when making an account for something, I act like a wreck. Great priorities mind. I'm not going to be a good voice actor. I stutter too much. I mean, you could still stutter and be a voice actor. You just have to, like, do characters who stutter. Or you can do, like, speech therapy to, like, better your stutters. I think you can. I am not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me. Also, I realized these don't match. Better. I struggle to pronounce things from time to time. I don't like those jabs either. I remember there was a time when I didn't speak for a while because I didn't speak for a while. So when I spoke, I stuttered so much and I was tripping over every other sentence. It was hard for me to speak. It was awful. It took me a bit of practicing to get back to normal speaking. I've had an instance in my past where I got shouted at by my family because they assumed I was being sarcastic with them. To be honest, still hurts, and they clearly don't remember it at all. Yikes. Sorry to hear. That's unfortunate. But yeah, that is frustrating when people like, oh, you're being sarcastic. And it's like, nope, I was being genuine. It's just that's how I sound. Yeah, very rude. Rude indeed. I've tried speech therapy. Ah. Well, sorry I couldn't be of more assistance. The stutter really only started 3 years ago before I got out of my bout of a... See, even I can't speak correctly. The stutter really only started 3 years ago before I got out of a bad place. Understandable. I hear my voice like if it was deep, but I sound like a cute nerd. My voice sounds weird on recording, like I am not used to it at all. I never hear anyone with this kind of a voice, and it's weird. I have a very strange, distinct voice. My Lucifer voice apparently makes Ryu want to pick me up and hug me. Like, they were upset I was trying to check on them, and they told me to stop with attitude and leave. I still get self-conscious over thinking I'm not emotive enough. Words are hard, indeed. No rush, take your time. And don't sweat the mistakes or quirks. Yeah. I had that with accidentally rolling my eyes when I was younger because I couldn't keep eye contact when I was being grouched at. Eye contact sucks. I don't like eye contact. That is something I gotta work on more, but yeah. Nowadays a lot of people don't like eye contact, so that's a plus, question mark? I don't know. I've heard eye contact is like a form of intimidation, you know. Don't know if that's true, but that is something I've heard. I like your voice, Hank. Thank you. Anyway, you don't sound emotionless. Yeah, you sound very emotive. Like, the other day you were having a jolly old time. Lucifer has a very puntable voice. I can't look people in the eyes sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, that annoys. Yeah, that's annoying. I would answer my parents' question and they would tell me not to argue back or be rude. I hate that. Like, why would you ask a question and then get upset when someone replies to you? That's so dumb. Backwards. Dogs look each other in the eyes as a challenge. I don't sound as emotionless now, thankfully, but I still worry about not sounding the right way. There's no right way of sounding, quote unquote. I'm better with it now, mainly because of being yelled at over. Eye contact for me is basically on/off for me. I'm either going to stare a hole into someone's soul or avoid looking where I can. Though I think I got better at it. I tend to have the problem of staring off into the distance, but it's the kind of staring off into the distance that looks like I'm staring into you and just like very intently looking at you. So like sometimes I'll have to like readjust where I'm looking so I'm not, you know, looking like a crazy person or a creep. I zone out and I just like stare off into the distance. And then I'll be like looking in someone's direction and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at you. I promise." I swear I wasn't. It just so happened I stared off in your direction. Just do as I do and stare blankly into them. Another thing that I've learned is I don't stare into people's eyes. I like stare at other facial features they have. Because for some reason I don't like looking at the eyes, so I'll like stare at their head or their hair or their mouth or something on their face that isn't their eyes. And that helps too. Yeah, but that's what's great about having phones. Phones have made that a lot better. People don't like being stared at, but don't like being not stared at. It is confusing. I keep my head down and my voice low. I hate bringing too much attention to myself, especially in public. Understandable. I wasn't looking at you, I was looking through you. It isn't a great excuse. Yeah. I stare at their forehead. You can just turn it on, look at it, and people won't question what you're looking at. True. It's a very good, like, social excuse. Like, someone's looking at their phone, oh, that's nothing out of the normal. Just continue on with my day. Sorry, I wasn't using my eyes, I was spacing out. Yeah, you just look at someone. Sorry, I swear I was not staring at you. I was just staring in your direction through you. I was spacing out. People don't like being stared at unprompted, but is expected when conversing. Yeah. I mean, I had an odd lady try to talk to me on the bus about conspiracy theories, and I was having an anxiety attack. I feel bad for it, but I can't help my emotions sometimes. Oh, I need to space out more. No, not necessarily. It's probably better you don't space out, honestly. I have to see my mom in the eye to speak to her. Oh, I started to space out more. I see. It's me. Well, I like daydreaming. Used to do it so much more. Daydreaming is fun though. If you don't have any responsibilities, doing daydreaming is fine. It come when it's maladaptive daydreaming, so like it literally gets in the way of you doing things, then that's when it's like, like I don't like being pressured to talk to others, especially about how presidents are trying to do this and that. Oof. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Though I will say I do find conspiracy theories fun to listen to. Like I have a cousin who's really into conspiracy theories, and listening to him go on about random stuff like we're in a simulation or birds aren't real is funny. I'm a head empty kind of person when I space out. There isn't a thought going in my head. I'm just passing time. It's like one of those fast forward buttons for time. Nothing happens, but everything moves quicker. The thing about me is I have somehow between ages 5 and 9 conditioned myself. 5 and 9 conditioned myself to be able to lie while looking at my father or anyone else for that matter dead in the eye. Interesting. Also, that was another follow. Thank you, Mike Shep, for the follow. No thoughts. Not even elevator music in my head. Well, I have procrastination issues, but I'd prefer to daydream than just doze off. It's like you're doing something, but not. Politics is a whole different can of worms. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with politics, though. That's kind of me. They can be fun, but I don't like giving my opinion. Fair. I do think I work good, though. I have a good work ethic when I get around to working. Yay, just 9 more. Yeah. Yeah, I don't idle well. Or at all, honestly. Yeah, I tend to busy myself, honestly. Just 'cause, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing nothing. There's plenty of things to be doing. Which probably isn't the best mindset, but there's things to do, and I'm not doing any of them, so I'm upset with myself. That's sort of like my motto. I wouldn't say time sped up, time speed up all time when I zonk. It's coin flip whether or not. If time passes by quickly. Excuse me, I yawned. The only thing I can look in the eyes are animals, and they seem to be chill around me. Yeah, because you have Disney princess vibes. In a good way, in a good way. Oh, it isn't. Space out for what feels like hours, only for 5 minutes to pass, then next I know it's the evening. Sometimes you need to rest up. Yeah, I know you need to rest, but at the same time, like, if I can be productive, I'm gonna try and be productive. I'll say most of the time. There are times where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything, so I won't. I'm always doing something. You ever have a list of things you could be doing but can't? Yeah, sometimes. That stuff will still be there later. Fair. But I could also get it out of the way now so I don't have to do it later. Gets you pacing like a tiger in a cage. Keyword, try. I learned how to sleep with my eyes open, mostly due to things in the past regarding my parents, but I digress. Sleeping with your eyes open feels like it'd be very uncomfortable. Like, you'd wake up and you're like, oh, my eyes are so dry and burning. I don't see the benefit in sleeping with your eyes open. I've been trying to get an application done for university for the past 2 months. If you can do it all, try and do a little. Oh, if you can't do it all, try and do a little. Momentum will build up and keep making progress. Yeah. I'm just bringing it up on the topic of procrastination. Yeah, that's fair. Stay alert and not be attacked by my family. The review is helping me unlearn that habit. It's like, oh, I need a reference for my application. I'll spend a week figuring out who to ask, then spend a week trying to muster the will to send the email. I have become a light sleeper and have better sense of hearing despite partial deafness because of similar reasons. Jesus. Yeah, the start is always the most intimidating part in almost anything. It's a hard thing to take the first step, but after you take the first step, then it becomes easier for some reason. It's like that initial startup is the hardest part for most of the time, and then after that, things just start moving smoothly. Then they don't respond, and I'm like, well, time for wait another week to send another email. Yeah, that's what happens when you're very passive and you're like, I'm just gonna give them all the time they need and not pester and poke and prod and stuff. Like, sometimes you do have to, like, buckle down and be like, hey, listen here. I need to talk to you, please. Like, you don't have to be mean or rude about it, but you can put your foot down a bit. I mean, I have until June 30th to apply, so don't procrastinate it. Trust me, it's better you don't. Especially when it comes to, like, applications or stuff of that sort, because usually if you wait too long, it'll bite you in the butt later. I don't have the ability to sleep in daytime, only in nighttime when I can sleep. Yeah, some people are just like, I can't sleep unless I'm going to bed. Which, that's fair. We'll say though, daydreaming is pretty fun. It's sort of like escape from reality for just a few moments. Though it is something to, like, do in moderation, because doing it too much can be not good for you. The fact I have a better work ethic for making timestamp lists and writing wikis compared to submitting applications is frustrating. Yeah, it's like you're very dedicated and hardworking when it comes to things you want to do, but if you don't want to do it, it is the hardest thing ever to do. It's the self-motivation where if you want to do something, you have a lot of self-motivation and can get it done pretty easily. But if you don't have the self-motivation, it is, like, reinforcingly hard. It's hard to sleep sometimes. And at times I feel nocturnal. I think I was at, like, a nocturnal point. At some point I was. But it's not really the best for you. Like, it can have a lot of negative side effects if you switch to, like, a nocturnal cycle. Because sunlight does wonders for you. Like, oh, the latest session of Pioneers has been released. Time to create a timestamp list and session summary for this new session, as well as any extra wiki pages necessary, and then, oh right, application, later. Do you have a Discord server? I don't. Here's the thing. I'm on the fence about making a Discord server, because on the one hand, it's like, I feel like some people would be interested, and that's great. But on the other hand, is a Discord server really something I want to put time and effort in? No, not really. I don't want to have to like moderate a server or have to worry about running it, you know? Because like that's a responsibility I'd be adding. So I just sort of didn't make one. The worst thing to happen to me if I don't sleep at night, I won't get to sleep until it's night again. Dewey server is already just your part-time Discord server. I have several part-time Discord servers where it's basically like, you know, I don't have my own server, but this works. Don't do it unless you sure you can deal with it. Yeah, when I work nights, it was really rough because. Yeah, when I work nights, I looked real rough because the trying to sleep during the day. That's fair. Yeah. It's like a Discord server. Oh yeah, that'd be totally fun. I can have okay, I made a Discord server already. Like it's ready to roll out. It's I already made one and it's ready to roll out at any given second. It's just not public because I don't want to deal with it. Cuz yeah, I'm that type of person. Made a Discord server for public use, but didn't make it public. It can add layers on unnecessary stress to you. Yeah. Just like, oh, now I have a Discord server, gotta worry about moderation and people being kinda meh and all that extra bleh. It's like, if I had the time, sure. But, as I've mentioned before, I'm a college student. My priorities is college, and then streaming is like a secondary thing I do for fun. Well, now it's becoming more of a part-time job, but yeah. Honestly, having a bunch of Discord servers is annoying for me. It's serious motivation killer just to jump between a bunch of servers with bare minimum interaction going on because everyone already knows everyone else from elsewhere. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, the servers I'm in, they're pretty well knit servers, so like, lots of overlap. And it's like, oh, I post something in one server, and it's like, a good majority of the people I talk to already seen it on that other server, so it's like, eh. Adding another server is sort of meh. I think the only like real upside for it would be like, oh, I can actually announce my streams and like at people, you know? Which that would be nice, but like I have a Discord server that's only between me and Ryu where I let out negativity in private places. Understandable. That's fair. If I didn't work so much, I could help more with that. It's fine. I don't want it to be like someone else's burden either. Like, why would I make a Discord server just to be like, yeah, I'm not going to take care of it. I'm going to leave that to other people, make it their problem. So don't worry about it too much. Pretty much most of my servers were for more private discussions with others, which I don't really look at anymore. Uncomfortable memories. I will not ask. I've been invited to a few private servers, but I don't really use private servers, honestly. It's like, yeah, it's fun to have a server with your friends, but at the same time, it feels kind of meh. very limited in interactions most of the time. It's like, oh, I'm gonna say this one thing and then go dormant for like a week. Versus like public servers where it's like people are constantly talking and stuff's going on. Feels alive. Just have discussions with your friends and public servers to build engagement. That too. Yeah, if you see me around on a public server, you're like, oh, I've seen you before. You stream? Sweet, I can go check out your streams. But if you only hung out in private ones, then it's like, no one knows you. When it comes to notoriety, I don't want to be like a top streamer everyone knows or anything, because that sounds miserable. I only want the notoriety to reach affiliate. After that, I really don't care. If anything, I prefer not to be very well known, because it feels more personal when you connect with those few people rather than like, okay, I'm known by thousands and like lots of people like me and stuff, but like no one truly knows me. That seems kind of sucky. And if I ever got to that point, I would just drop off of Twitch or whatever platform I'm on and just disappear because I'm not for it. I can mention a certain other server, a fair few of us involved in, which is debatably useful. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. Like I don't really use it. It's a good sentiment and it's a good idea. It's just the execution of it is like very bare minimum. So it comes off a bit redundant. I'm Absol. I'm a silly being. I'm a rock dog. I'm a Zoroark. I am Spartacus. You're all a bunch of nice folk. Good beans. Yeah. Ironically, the way to get me off a platform, make sure I have enough, make sure I'm popular enough, and then I'll just leave on my own. Most of my friends are all mainly in the same server. And NEO is 2016 comedy animator movie. Like, I made this server for my friends that aren't as talkative on my main server to get to interact with others, only for those same friends to still not interact. Yeah. I'm gonna make a server for my friends who aren't very talkative, so they can talk to each other. Only problem is they're not very talkative, so no one talks to each other. I'm still new to Discord, so I don't have a lot of friends yet. I feel like I have a lot of casual friends, with those few that I'm like, I consider good friends. My friend tier list is kind of awkward, where I'm like, anyone I have a positive interaction with, I consider a friend. However, from there it goes to like, are you a good friend? Like someone I would want to talk to. And then it's like, from good friend, it's trusted friend, someone I would trust with private information and being more, telling more private stuff to. And then it's like, best friend. And then after best friend, I think it would just be like partner. There's a movie from 2016 named Rock Dog. Huh. I'm clearly S tier friend. I'm like C to B tier at most, if C is passable. I'm a chill friend. Like your credit card info? I try to be a good friend, though I'm often unintentionally rude. It happens sometimes. No one's gonna be perfect. Best you can do is just try your best. I say Enio and Wolf is good friend. No. I'm assuming Wolf Mage. Because that's like, besides Blood, that's the only other wolf I know. I assume Wolf Mage. Yep. I can have moments of A tier friend material like 1 to 5% of the time. I am okay friend, like, I exist, I try to help. I don't think you can rate yourself as a friend. What folks think of you is personal opinion. Some people might think you're C, others S. That is true. Friendship is very subjective, and how people view you is very subjective. Like, some people are like, oh yeah, you're great, you're an amazing person. And then other people are like, you're the Antichrist. Just look at Mr. Beast. I don't speak with Blood, only that one time. Yes, Eric's, but you do have me as a friend on Discord. Nah, clearly I know what everyone feels about me. They all clearly enamored with me. They're all clearly enamored with me. How dare. Who are you? Yes, I do, Bala. You're a friend too. I wouldn't say someone is my friend just for positive interactions. I would consider someone a friend if we hung out / talk regularly and have common interests. See, that is what most people consider friends, and that is an understandable way to put it. But for me, it's easier for my mind to just categorize, okay, we had a decent talk, or you're not a garbage person, I'll consider you a friend. However, friend doesn't necessarily mean that much to me. Like, the term friend is sort of very loose for me, and it doesn't mean much. Because I value the word friend less than, like, close friend, trusted friend, something like that, if that makes sense. I don't like rating people. I don't really rate people. It's a matter of categorization for me. It's like, how close are you to me personally? I'm not saying, like, oh, this person is only B tier material for a friend. It's just, how are they a friend to me? Yeah, I should make that clear. I'm not saying, like, oh, if someone is, you know, if I count them as, oh, we're just friends, that isn't me saying, oh, this person is just, you know, friend bottom of the barrel material. It's me saying, I consider this person a friend to me personally. You can be friendly, but not friends. Yeah, that's understandable. If you made a positive impact, then yeah, you'll learn more in the friendo department like Hydra is. Amazing friend, same with Meryl. Thank you. I hold the title friend highly. That's valid. That is valid. I very much of the thought of, you just need to enjoy each other's company to be friends. Common interests aren't necessary, but can help. Rate your friends. 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. Labels. The meaning and weight only matter and are dependent on the person applying them. Yes, that is... You said that perfectly. In my case, a good pal of mine is someone who's willing to give, request, and enjoy company. Who's willing to give, request, and enjoy company. That's a solid definition for a pal. Damn humans, too much water. The devs need to fix that. I keep people that I consider friends close. Well, company, assistance, etc. Two-way street. Yeah, friendship should be two-way. Like, if you're the only one giving in a friendship, then it does beg into question, is it truly a friendship, or is it more of just somewhat of a transaction, you know? Then you get into the specifics of how much are you really giving. Don't get me started on that. You know how many people are like, it is just a whole can of worms, that one. Some people think they give the whole world when they give nothing, and then other people think they give nothing when they give the world. It's very... That's the best way I could put it. It's Personally, I'm the type to feel like, oh, I don't really give anything, even though the person's like, nope, you're giving a lot. Friendships can be mutually beneficial. Friendships can be mutually beneficial simping. Yeah. So I'm being hugged so much today. Hydra, you give a lot. I know I can tend to give a lot, which then in turn makes people feel bad, so I'm sorry about that. I'm just a giving person. However, that giving nature does, make people feel bad sometimes. Or it's like, oh, they're being very nice to me. I need to repay them. And then I'm just like, nope. I can think of one person off the top of my head who has that sort of monologue with me several times. No, I don't mean that negatively. Yeah, I know, Fox. You help me so much. Epic cough. Yep, you're the one I was referring to, if it wasn't obvious. It's like, you don't need to do anything for me. And then Epic is just like, I need to help. Let me help. Let me do thing for you. Let me repay your kindness. Honestly, I don't know if I give much at all. Well, just really ask yourself in your friendships, what is it that you do for your friends? Like, do you do you listen when they speak? Are you there when they want to talk? Do you give them do you give up your time for them? Those are all things that are giving that most people don't really think about. I know I'm certainly giving up my entire afternoon most days now for friendship. You should also leave time for yourself. You are also important in a relationship. Maybe it doesn't feel like much to you, but it can mean a lot to others. I've heard that phrase a lot. The sentiment of, I do something for someone, and I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. And then they tell me, like, no, this means a lot. But for me, a lot of the time, value in my actions is lost. Like, me showing basic kindness to someone, that for me is like, okay, that's just normal, that's casual. But then other people will confront me about it, and they're like, no, that wasn't just general kindness. Or something, if that makes sense. Probably none of that made sense. Misspelled, yip. I misspelled, but yip fits too. It makes sense to me, and I refuse to say why. Okay. You hold yourself to a higher standard of common decency than most. You hold yourself to higher standards of common decency than most, you mean. I mean, I understand. I was taught by my parents that if good is done on you, you should give back. But to some peeps, basic kindness does mean a lot. That's a sad truth, and one that I wish wasn't. Basic kindness shouldn't be held on this pedestal. Like, I'm always grateful when people are like, "Oh, thank you," and "I appreciate this so much." But at the same time, it sucks that people have to say that. People shouldn't have to say that for basic kindness. That should just be a given. And so when people are like, "Oh, you're doing this amazing thing for me," and it's like, "Nope, this is just treating you like a person." That shouldn't societally be that important. Also, yay, got part of Hydra. Hard agree. Yeah, it really shouldn't. Some people think kindness should be earned. That is a bad sentiment. Like, even if you hate someone, like, there are people, well, I don't hate people, I dislike people. Hating someone would require more effort than I'm willing to put. But there are people I dislike. However, I will still treat them with kindness and respect because that's just sort of it's a given. You should do that, regardless if you like someone or not. Now, at the same time, common decency does not extend to like an extreme. Like, common decency would be like, okay, someone's walking through a door, hold it for them. That's not doing much to go out of your way. Even if you dislike the person, you can still hold a door for them. You know, that doesn't cost you anything. But if it's like, hey, they call you to help move a couch, that is something you can be like, no. Because, you know, your relationship doesn't extend that far. Nah, people will still feel grateful, even if it is something basic. Just let thanks be said if it matters so much. That's a thing I will say. I do not turn down gratitude towards me because I feel like that is rude. If someone is like, I need to repay you, I'm not going to be like, no, 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 you can't repay me. Because by doing that, that's denying someone the opportunity that they want. And I feel like that's kind of mean. It's like, oh, I can do nice stuff for you, but you can't do nice stuff for me. You know? That's common sense to help others, yeah. It should be. But truth be told, helping others, a lot of people seem to struggle with the idea of, you know, putting others before themselves. Which I can't entirely fault people for that, because it is sort of natural instinct of gotta look after number one. Water. It doesn't necessarily mean that they consider common kindness to be something that requires gratitude. It's like how you can still appreciate certain foods even if you consider some to be better than others. Personally, I don't think selfish actions are bad because they're selfish. Same with selfish actions being good. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you can be selfish and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, sometimes you need to be selfish and that's okay. It's a matter of, you know, is your intent in being selfish to harm others? Because if yes, then yeah, that's a bad thing. Like, you shouldn't be selfish to hinder or harm others. But if it's like, oh, I need to be selfish and take the day off because I'm going through some stuff, then, you know, that's understandable. And that's okay. It's okay to take care of yourself and to put yourself first sometimes. Putting yourself first doesn't equate to you're being a bad person or a bad friend. If we all gave food to others rather than eating it, we'd all starve at the same time. If we all hoarded food, then that'd really suck. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. If everyone was so generous and giving, we'd all just starve to death because we'd given our food away. The seven deadly sins are only deadly in excess, however you need them. You need pride to stand for yourself, lust to desire something, sloth to avoid pushing yourself, wrath to see justice, etc. It's a matter of balance and intent. Impact. A lot of things, really. Yeah. A lot of things. I like that I'm fostering a community that's very open about certain things like mental health or, you know, this kind of discourse. Like critical thinking that most people just sort of jump the gun on. That's actually a main theme for the campaign I'm writing, how these sinful emotions can be forces for good, or evil depending on how they let loose those feelings, control it. There's a saying that one of my teachers used to say, which is too much is too much. Which, it's simple. It's like, yeah, duh, too much is too much. But, like, it can be applied to a lot of things, like, medicine. Okay, how much is too much? Too much is too much. Doing good or doing bad. Too much is too much, regardless of you're doing a good thing or a bad thing. And even that's relative, but still. If something is too much, then it's too much. Duh. When should I stop patting the dog? Too much is too much. Yes. Too much patting is too much patting. Pets. Wow, it has only been like only 2 hours? Well, not even. It's not even been 2 hours. I thought it was past that. You can have too much of food, people feelings. It's all about reasonable quantities that differ from person to person. Yeah, some people can handle more or less of different things. The picture is adorable. Okay, I'll zoom out real quick to see what we got so far, since most of this has been zoomed in. Looking pretty good. Yeah, it's 11 p.m. for me. I'm surprised you're awake then. That's pretty late. Ah, fellow Brit. Has that not been obvious? Whatever I spoke, Epic. Listen, it's Hydra. They draw adorable things. Thank you. I am a bit dense to personal details. I stay up late for friends. That's very courteous of you. It's 6:50 p.m. for me. For me, it's 5:50. It's 5:50 p.m. for me. Epic, I have Yorkshire. Why did I just say that? Yorkshire accent. I almost said Worcestershire. Oh, that's the accent, as I said. It's 5:50 p.m. for me now. Dense to personal details. Nah, it's pronounced like sure. Yorkshire? Oh, that does make sense. Looks like Shire, but pronounced shore. Weird. It's 4:50 p.m. my time. Now try pronouncing Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Is that correct? Or is it this time Shire? Glad to know me and Hydra are in the same time zone. Also, my head hurts. No, pronounce Worcestershire. No chest sound. Worcestershire. That's... but why? Worcestershire. If your head hurts, go take some time to do self TLC. Maybe lay down a little. Neo used word. Fox has gained confusion. I can't recall the reasoning if you need another example. Okay, that looks like if it was like a weird less. I know that I can see it says Leicester, but without that, it looks like a weird Leicester. You know, it looked like it would be pronounced Leicester, even though it's Leicester. That one is less of a jump, I will say. The other one seems very much like a very big cheap, a very big leap in logic. Names can be funny. It's like when someone hears my name but not read it. They think it's with Z and not an X. Xerix? I would always assume it was an X. Xerix sounds like an X starting name. Imagine me coming onto stream one day to start teaching y'all how to speak Yorkshire. I mean, in there you have Z. Oh, that's why I specifically use... Hold up, I gotta look back. What was it again? Worcestershire. Worcestershire. It's such a huge mess that it throws off everyone unused to it. Because it makes no sense. Worcestershire. It doesn't look like Worcestershire at all. No reasonable person would look at that and think, oh, yep, that's Worcestershire. Unless they are specifically from a place that calls it that. Wait, like the sauce? Yes, like the sauce. English, it makes no sense. English, it makes no sense. Yeah, but I say that, but at the same time, there's probably words here in the US where it's like Arkansas, for example, where it looks like Arkansas, because there's Kansas and then there's Arkansas, but they're both spelled very similar. It does to the UK. It really doesn't. Treason. Why does this say Kansas? And why is this not Arkansas? America, explain. There's been times where I've called it Arkansas just because of that meme. And then I have to correct myself. I'm in like Arkansas. America, explain. I mean, it's a valid question. Why is that? And that's like not even the only inconsistency in language. It's just like one of the more well-known ones. English makes sense unless we say otherwise. No matter where you are in the world, one thing is consistent with English. It doesn't follow its own rules. We like to be different. Fun fact, to laugh in Russian, it's ZZZ. In English, you make the rules. I mean, that's just like English history right there. They made all the rules because they were Englishmen. Look at that fluffy belly. Just decided to look it up. We literally pronounce that as stir because of how inconvenient the spelling is to pronounce. You guys literally did it out of spite. Just like, this would be very inconvenient. So let's make it that. Floof. Fluffy bellies are nice. It is indeed a very cute belly. Okay, I don't like it. We're getting rid of the belly button. X are pronounced in Russia as H. Huh. Okay, so to Ennio and maybe Epic if he knows, why do people in like, I don't know, European areas say Z instead of Z? Like they say it's, instead of saying, oh, the letter Z, they say Z. Oh, I know. That I'm curious about that one. Because it doesn't sound like C? Duh. I was an indoors kind of. I was indoors kind, and my accent is pretty much yes, so I might not be the best to ask. Understand? It comes from the Roman alphabet. Okay. So Xerix is Harrier. The most funny thing I heard or read about my name is when people call me Airy and not Xerix. Oh, cause like they take off the XX. Like, why have C and Z pronounced C and Z? Swine. Okay, what about B and D? No. No, those are distinct. There was, I forget. There are certain letters that uh you say them very similarly. I forget them. But like I know there's a pairing with B. But yeah, Z, C. Hmm. Google says this the British call Z Z and the Scots call it Z, but Americans call it Z. B E maybe. You're proving my point. Q and Q. Why is Z the hardest letter in Europe? Oh, why the book's janky. isn't. X exists. Oh, BV. Maybe. B, B. No. B, K, B, K, B. No, there's specifically a word, so like, I don't remember it. Not a word, letter. Ugh. I learned this in my language psychology class, and then I forgot it. Or psychology of language class, I should say. I'm Australian, and I call it Zed. Yeah, it's not solely a European thing. It's just usually associated with those from Europe. Which American disgrace decided Z made sense when you have X pronounced C? Huh? Oh. Okay. I get what you mean. Fucking autocorrect. Also, K and C are often pronounced the same in English, not the letter specifically. Yeah, I get what you mean. You really made those cheeks chonky, huh? Big ol' face. Yes, because I thought it was funny. Also, the reference image I used was one of Charm's. I think it was the inflated one he uses when he's playing by the pound, but it's. Let me just. Let me find the reference image. This one. Oh wait, no, I was looking at the wrong one. This one, where he's just stuffing his face full of food. Big old cheeks. I was also thinking of the other one, which also has him with like huge cheeks, which I just thought was cute and funny, so I went with that. I remember in school learning C and K as curling K and kicking K. I don't remember. I don't think I learned it that way. I just remember like it was just a matter of, oh, you got to remember which words are using C and which ones are using K because they sound exactly the same. Oh my, that face. I think that this cheek needs to be bigger. That's the problem when you're doing stylized things. I'm not used to making characters with like humongous cheeks. I think it's funny and cute, but not my skill set. I'm typical too, so E. Probably looks a bit awkward. Also, geez, I say this a lot, but Hydra, not only do you draw amazing cute art, but you draw fast. Yeah, I've been told I draw pretty fast. It's like car and car. How do I tell these apart? That's the neat thing, you don't. Indeed. Yeah, it's funny when I do commissions for people like Dezu, and he'll be streaming, and then I'll just like message him in the middle of stream like, hey, I finished the sketch, I'm ready for the next stage, do you want anything changed? It's like, yeah, could you change this for me? Sure. Like, a minute later, okay, it's changed, do you want anything else fixed? Like the one stream he did where I managed to get 2 of his commissions done within the span of his stream, and I finished it pretty early on too. You can't tell them apart? Are you crazy? I'm home from work. Hey, oh, Rocky. Yeah, I don't see a point in why we have both C and K if they both make the same sound. Like, there has to be a reason for it. But I don't know that reason. Or at least I would hope there's a reason for it, otherwise it's just stupid. Yeah, could I have fries with that? Pumping art out like fast food chain does food. At least mine is decent quality. I think I remember even in the beginning when I first commed you, I was shocked that you took like a couple hours to make a work in progress. But higher quality, of course. Thank you. Kinda want to see you draw Caillou, but maybe when he has a reason to deserve having art drawn of him. I mean, I don't mind drawing art of him, but that's gonna have to wait a bit. One, because I'm doing this, and then two, it's like I can't, blah, blah, blah. Pick a sentence. So, my rule when it comes to art is I am not allowed to start a new project until I finish my previous. Because I want to avoid the problem a lot of artists have where they're like, oh, I have an idea, I'm going to start drawing it. They lose motivation, and then they don't finish it. And then you have a piece that you never finished. So to avoid that, I have a rule where it's I cannot move on to the next piece until I finish the previous. Fair. Yeah, fair. I only want you to draw him if you felt like it. And like, I don't mind drawing him. I actually intended on probably drawing all of your characters at some point, just so you all have a piece of artwork and like something to use. But you went ahead and drew it first, so I was like, okay, I'll hold off on making them. You know, like I would have asked for new art, but I was saving money and already have good art working for Lucifer. Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted each of you to have a piece of digital artwork of your character, which is why I wasn't like very gung-ho of making one for Lucifer. No offense to you, Fox, but like Lucifer already has several pieces of artwork, so I didn't want to like get more when the others don't have any at all. And I wanted to give everyone at least a piece of artwork to use for the table, but Ennio already made his, so I was like, okay, then I don't really need to focus on making it. So many scraps. Yeah, I don't want that to happen, so that's why I have the rule. And I'm not asking for free art now. Thank you. So you're demanding. I drew it so you wouldn't have to worry about drawing it yourself. Same with Lucifer's human look. See, you basically just went the opposite direction, where it was like, well, these guys don't have art, so I should make it. Anyhow, I'll make it so you don't have to. That's very appreciated. Thank you. And very nice of you, too. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, essentially I am DM to a Pokerole game, which is basically D&D, but Pokemon. Simple. And my characters, Neo being one of them, Fox being another, their characters, Lucifer, Fox's character is Lucifer, Neo's character is Q, but it looks like it's spelled Caillou. Neo drew art of his character. Lucifer already had art of his since it was a previously used character. I think that covers everything. I'm thinking of naming the demon character you drew Damien. Oh right, I forgot I drew that for you. Do whatever you want with it. Honestly, thank you for that, Neo. You fit the idea for human Lucifer and attitude. Meryl is another. Yeah, Meryl is the other player. Are you DM yet, considering you ain't done a session yet? Okay, that is fair. I'd like to consider myself a DM, but that is true. I haven't actually done anything. I've only, prepped an entire game. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna want to see digital art of him down the line, though. Dang, I want to join a Pokerole session. Just hit me that I act with fear. Hold up. Sorry, that's burp. Just hit me that I act with free art like Fox does when Pokerole campaigns are mentioned. Leader B. Eventually, Hydra want to spend the love of making art. DM in preparation then. Sure, it'll be great to see. I hope so. Not only for the sake of my players, but also for the sake of, I can perform a session, you know? Listen, why waste a good character I have art for? That is very fair. I worried I was being annoying and demanding. So far, you haven't been. Like, you haven't really been asking for much, which I appreciate. Happy Mario Day, everyone. I'd hop in if I could, but there are clear complications in that idea. Yeah, Hydra's art is good. I'm glad folks think my art is good and, worth paying for. Shows just how far I've come, because I'm gonna be honest, in the past, there are pieces that I made where I'm like, man, I'm glad I don't do commissions, because no one would want to pay for this garbage. Fox, I assure you, I'm being more demanding than you are, more than likely. I wouldn't count any of you as demanding. Like, none of you have really been like, I don't know, demanding at all. Even in our like side talks NEO where you wanted to like discuss stuff about your character, you weren't very demanding about it. It was like, hey, I think this is a cool idea. Can I maybe? And I eventually am like, let me tweak it a little, and then yes. Which, that's fine. It's not like you're like, I need this, and there will be no exceptions to that. I get what I want. Like a spoiled child. If you're unsatisfied with old work, it shows you're growing. Yeah, that is very much true. And a good thing a lot of artists forget, or up and coming artists, where they're like, man, my old stuff is garbage, meaning that like all my artwork is garbage. And it's like, no, if you think your old stuff garbage, that means you're getting better. It shows you're developing. I've had people ask if I accept commissions for my art too. Well, a few people. Okay, a single person. I mean, I feel like me going, hey, I have these ideas. Are they alright with you? Is kinda demanding to me. No, they are not. That is communicating with your future DM about, you know, hey, I have this cool idea. I wanted to talk to you if this idea is cool. Not cool, but is this idea okay? That is perfectly fine, and honestly what you should do. What you shouldn't do is go to your DM expecting them to say yes, and then telling them your idea, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, you don't say, I'm going to do this. You say, can I do this? That's the difference. You don't come to me and say, this is going to happen. You say, hey, can I do this? Which, by you asking, is, not being demanding. Look at that. Line art for the characters is done. Now I just need to do the background. Can I have full control of the world regardless of your opinions? No. Can I, as opposed to I want? What? Can I as supposed to I want? That just reminds me of, does Bruno Mars is gay? You mean opposed? Can I as opposed to I want? That still doesn't make sense. Oh, can I as opposed to I want? Okay. It took me a minute to read that because, okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, can I versus I want something. Nah, me going, can I have this bit of knowledge due to my character's backstory is totally equivalent to someone going, make my character have a unique trait based on a certain circumstance and be super cool and so much better than everyone else who doesn't have the same ideas I have. Charm does deserve belly rubs. Man, this lo-fi is making me drowsy. I mean, I'm a very chill streamer, so like I wouldn't be surprised if people were like, this is a good stream to like, tune into, listen in the background, and maybe head to bed. Be snarky like I am, Epic. It keeps me invigorated. Enio lives out of spite. You say that like I ain't already. I will continue. I will continue to exist out of spite. No, it's not just so I can spend more time with friends. Shut up. Yeah, sure, I'll get right on that. I think the sentiment of I live out of spite is funny. It's like, nope, I don't live because, it's what I should do. It's like natural instinct. No, forget that. I live out of spite. I live only because this person doesn't want me to. I hope I muted that correctly because I sneezed. I should get started using up the stamina in my gashes though. I likely conk out once stream is over. Great. I live out of spite because I don't like me. You live to spite yourself. Wow, what a motivation. So Hydra, what is your favorite dragon type in Pokemon? Um, that is a good question. Okay, so there's like three that immediately come to mind. There's Dragonite, uh, Hydreigon, and Goodra. Question is, which of those three do I like most? Hmm. That is a difficult question. There's Hydreigon because obviously Hydra. Dragonite because it's traditional dragon, and I just like the simple design of him. And then Goodra because like it's a goo dragon and it's like squishy and like it looks adorable. That's a difficult question. I don't think I can really pick between those three. Dragonite was the first Pokemon that I drew for someone. I drew a Dragonite for someone as well. Alright, reminds me I was gonna draw a trainer that specializes in Rockruff, like how Penny is an Eevee fan. I live out of spite for does that hate me. For those that hate me. That came out pretty nice. Maya's favorite dragon type, Salamence. Understandable. Salamence is a pretty solid choice. Now, if Thunderous Therian form counted as a dragon, that would be my pick. You know, I thought of a good question, albeit unrelated. You ever miss your old forms? You mean like the previous ones I use? So like the Flareon, um, Hydra, obviously. I mean, hmm. At times it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It's never like, oh man, I miss the days where I was, using the Flareon or I was using the Hydra, but it those there are times where I'm like, man, maybe I should redraw this. But at the same time, I'm in a new stage of life where I'm using this avatar, so it's like I don't really want to go back, if that makes any sense. But there are times where I'm like, man, it would be cool to like use the Hydra again, or like a new updated variation of it. My favorite dragon type, Salamence, is Onyx. I redraw old OCs for nostalgia. I'm not really the type to redraw old things, honestly. Or not. It usually has to have a prompt. I'm never like, oh, I'm nostalgic. I'm gonna go redraw an old thing. Has to be like, oh, I'm gonna redraw this thing because it's relevant for new thing. I am in the stage where I am the Chester Ian. I feel it reasonable to pay homage to the past should you want to. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to like redraw old art or anything, or look back and be like, yeah, I remember when I used to use this. It's good to reminisce. Case in point, redrew my OC Arzu, the Luxio, a while back with a big redesign. Yeah, something old in a new way. I like that sentiment of bringing the past into the present, because usually a lot of the time it's like it feels like you have to choose. It's like stay in the past or move to the future, and a lot of the time it really feels like people are forcing you to. You can't live in the past and present. I feel like I'm rambling now. I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably just said a bunch of gibberish. Best not to stay in the past, but you can bring some of the past with you. Yeah. After several hours, I have finally finished the line art. Granted, this was me drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. Ugh, that's so much. Go stretch, drink. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a stretch. Stand up a bit. Arzu's gone from just a regular Luxio to a shiny Luxio dash Absol hybrid. I enjoy using what I learned to recreate him. I still remember my days as a werewolf. My Sir Hero Wolf days. Looks great. Other life requires taxes. Ew, taxes. Yeah. Adulting and such. Ooh. Are they that taxing? Is what taxing? Adulting sucks. Yeah, I'm not a fan of adulting either. Ooh, sitting in that chair for hours sometimes is like, ooh. Oh look, it's raining outside. I used to be a wind dragon, but I never had an art of them. They can be, but after years of doing them, not so much anymore. But still ew. That blows. Or did blow, I suppose. I feel like blow. Both are applicable. At least you got the memories. So, here's what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to put a pin in this drawing and then finish it Sunday. I don't intend to go full detail on this. I'm saying it now. I don't intend to go full detail on this. Who knows what I feel on Sunday. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it as is, so that way Sunday I have something to work on. What do you guys think? It was raining here all day yesterday. I think it just started raining recently. Or, yeah, maybe a bit ago. Best not to rush and just enjoy the process. Looks good, sir. Thanks. I will share a bit of a trick that I do with my art. So, what I like to do is to take the line art, then I duplicate it, merge it all together, put it to like 50% opacity, and then Gaussian blur at 6. And that makes everything a bit more fuzzy and soft. So finishing up around now then sounds good to me. I think I'll go, there's like 20 minutes to the next hour, so I'll go till 7 my time. And then I'll end stream, but I'm done drawing for today. Like me, fuzzy and soft. Yeah. It just gives it an extra softness to it. It looks better with color, because right now it just sort of looks like a weird highlight, but it does make things look better. Fair, we can talk. Personally, I think I'm gonna bounce now. Been a nice time though. Understandable. Soft is best. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise, for joining me today for this Doggo Draws episode. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to do more in the future. I hope everyone has a good day, or night, depending on where you are. And I suppose I can share a bit of a quote that I really enjoy, that I came up with myself, which is, life may suck sometimes, but it could always be worse. Yeah, helps me anyway. Maybe you can read some. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Goodbye.